Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. It's Monday, November 11th. Happy Veterans Day to all veterans. Thank you for your service. You're the best. Thank you so much. Thought I would spend some of this podcast going through some of the people that Donald Trump is putting in charge of his next presidential administration or his next administration. And we go to Little Marco, Little Marco. Reports are that President-elect Donald Trump is expected to name Senator Marco Rubio of Florida as his Secretary of State. Now, this is being confirmed by multiple sources, but it hasn't actually come out yet. When Rubio was asked for a comment, he said no comment. Rubio, of course, if you remember, fought with Donald Trump when they were both running for president. But then Rubio made up with Donald Trump after he became president and has stayed close to Donald Trump since. So, for that, and for being the biggest suck-up in the history of the United States Senate, Marco Rubio most likely will become Trump's Secretary of State. Next, I've mentioned this in other podcasts, but here she is, Susie Wiles. Susie Wiles is going to be Trump's Chief of Staff. And she, apparently, according to reports, is making a lot of decisions right now and helping pick out the team. And what she did as part of these choices is she picked this dude. Now, this is that pointy-headed guy. He kind of looks like a Cone person. Remember that? The Cone men from Saturday Night Live. This is Stephen Miller. Trump or Susie have decided that Stephen Miller should be the next Deputy Chief of Staff. He is going to be working on policy. Now, Miller worked for Trump as a speechwriter, and he helped Trump write his 2017 inaugural address. But he's also your basic immigration nightmare. He's a hardliner. Miller is the chief architect of Trump's travel ban, and he was in charge of Trump's policy of separating migrant children from their parents. As I said, he is your basic nightmare. You know, he's got this appointment now for staying close to Trump and staying close to Susie Wiles. Next, this guy. This is Tom Homan. He was once the acting director of ICE, of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And Trump has named him, or plans to appoint him, as border czar. Now, here's the thing about border czar. I know that Trump was saying that Kamala Harris was border czar. She never was. Okay, we never had a border czar, but she did have some jobs that President Biden asked her to do, and she did them, but she was never appointed a border czar. There's never been a border czar. But now Trump is going to create that position and give it to Tom Homan, the former ICE director. And he's got a colorful past. Here's there's a whole lot of sound from Tom Homan. He was at the Republican convention. Here he is from a long-form interview after Trump lost, and he's talking about separating children from their parents. Take a listen to the soundbite.
If people really have a fear of persecution in their homeland, they want to file for asylum claims, they come to a port of entry, present themselves, which law says they have a right to file for asylum, but come to the port of entry, present yourself, make your claim. You're still going to get the same judicial process, but do it through the legal channels. Don't enter between the port of entries. If they really are escaping fear and persecution, looking for relief in this country, why not come to a port of entry and turn yourself over to a law enforcement officer, say, I want to file for asylum, and you get to file asylum. You're not taking your child across the river. You're not taking them through a canyon where that child can be hurt or they could be hurt. Do it the safe way. This isn't just about enforcing laws. See, that's the message that doesn't get out. This is about saving lives and protecting these immigrants, too.
But again, American Academy of Pediatrics, 66,000 pediatricians, we urge policymakers to be mindful. These are vulnerable, scared children. To separate them from their families, harsh and counterproductive.
Children get separated from parents every day in this country when their parents are arrested for criminal violations. Again, I've arrested fathers for domestic violence, background as a police officer. I separated that father and that child. It's unfortunate, it's sad, but the child certainly can't go to a county lockup with a father. A child can't go to U.S. Marshal's custody with the parents being charged with a crime or entering the country illegally. Again, we have made it clear, we've done numerous news broadcasts. You have a right to claim asylum in this country, but go to a port of entry, present yourself, you get the same protections, but you're not violating the law.
Tom Homan is a former Border Patrol agent, and he wants to get to work and begin deportations immediately. So the thing about this position that Trump is giving him, we don't believe that it's going to require any sort of Senate confirmation. So therefore, Tom Homan can get to work like right now and start figuring out how he's going to deport millions of people. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, and she is going to be appointed ambassador to the United Nations. It's odd that she's being appointed ambassador to the United Nations because she has been a critic of the UN, in particular over the organization's stance on Israel, saying last month that the Biden administration should consider a complete reassessment of U.S. funding of the United Nations, given the Palestinian Authority's effort to expel Israel from the General Assembly. She's a vocal supporter of Trump during both his impeachment trials. Oh, Lordy. I can't go on. Trump has chosen this dude to be the administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency. So if you're having trouble breathing like in a year or so, or if you need extra heavy sunscreen, you can probably thank this guy, because he's really anxious to get in there and wipe out all of the Biden administration's protections to protect our environment. Here's a quote from Zeldin. He's going to restore U.S. energy dominance. We already have energy dominance, by the way. Revitalize our auto industry, which has already been revitalized under Joe Biden, and bring back American jobs. American jobs right now, we have the lowest unemployment rate in the history of unemployment. And he wants to make the United States a global leader in AI. He gets low marks from conservation groups. He has repeatedly voted against the Clean Air Act, even though the county he lives in has some of the worst air quality in New York. All of you who voted for Trump start getting a little concerned about what they're doing to our environment. Look in the mirror, blame yourself, and then you can blame this guy. Trump has campaigned to kill all EPA rules and regulations that Biden has put in place to combat global warming. We're going to get rid of that. And we're going to have smokestacks back. And again, if your kids have asthma, it's your fault for voting for him. And I'll be saying that a lot in the coming 2 years. I'm Gloria Moraga, Political Woman. This is a Political Woman podcast. I've got another great podcast that I'm working on. I'm writing it right now. And who do you think is benefiting from the whole talk about the mass deportations? Well, my gosh, big business and billionaires who own these big businesses. Guess what is going to be booming? What stock has gone up? Prisons. People who build prisons, their stock has skyrocketed since Donald Trump won. And that's going to be in the next podcast. So stay tuned. I've also got a great one that I'll kind of wedge in there somewhere about Elon Musk and what's in store for that dude, that white-stomached dude who needs to buy better shirts. And I will have that, maybe wedge it in between this and the other. I'm Gloria Moraga, Political Woman. Please subscribe. Please follow me on TikTok. I think I'm going to go live there in a few minutes. And be safe.